Hey there, welcome back guys. In this video we're going to be building a clock, a digital clock like we over here, right over here as you can see. Since we blew up the last one in our live stream because we put too much power in there. So knowing that, moving forward, remember it has to be 5 volts and not the voltage from your portable charger. As you can see, the time is correct. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 9:12 p.m.
9:12. All right, so it's off by 2 minutes, but that's okay. I have it down to the minute of the minutes of my minutes, but without 9:11. So it's off by 1 minute. So if you're going to be traveling back in time or using the teleporter like we do here, just remember you might be off by 1 minute. So make sure no one's sitting in the chair at the time of destination of travel. All right, knowing that and moving forward, let's get started and building your digital clock. Camera is set up, which is great. So knowing that and moving forward, so I'm just going to go over some of the parts with you. When I had done this live, one of the viewers had commented saying that it doesn't matter which way the components go. Some components it doesn't matter because you're going to get the same reading no matter what. But what I like to do is, me personally, I just like to follow the picture. So if the picture has, you know, the resistor that way, I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool. I want to build it the same way that way. So if you don't like that, that's fine, but you know, just to maintain continuity, and I'm like, oh, it looks really cool, it's exactly like the original, sort of, but you know, to each their own. You do what you want to do, but if you're not familiar with how the parts measure, because it can be confusing. Let's take a look here. I'll show you the resistors. You have two resistors here, and one resistor here. Now sometimes, because I've done a lot of soldering videos on the channel, as you can see, these pieces, right, will come not taped together, right? So then how do I know which one is which? Like which one is the one that's supposed to be the one that goes in if I don't know how to read the resistors? We got you covered, okay? So which one is this one now? Now I don't know, but that's okay. I'll show you guys. This is a 10K. So there are two 10Ks, right? So what we'll do is, well, you have to have a multimeter, of course. They're really cheap. It doesn't have to be this one. It can be any one as long as you know how to read it. You know, that's all that matters. And you don't really have to know how to read it if you get a digital one. I've had this one for a long time, many years, and so it still does the trick. The only downside to this one is that the fuse can go out over time. So in this case, I'm going to put this here, see if I can read it. And this one, it's roughly 9.8, so we know we can round it off. So occasionally you'll get the 10K reading. Let's see if we can get the set to auto. 15, 9.8. Sometimes you just have to round it off, right? And then we'll just do that. We got a 10, but then the 10 disappeared. So we know that this is the 10K because the other one's a 3. See, so occasionally you get 10. Let's see if we can get 10 on the other one, okay? And then we'll go here. And go there. 9.9. Wait for it. So it holds at 9. We know that that's a 10. So we know that there are two 10s, and the other one is probably going to be a 330. Okay, so I'll just move this a little bit more so that you guys can see. Let me just double check to make sure I'm not. Yeah, so the meter's still working. Great. So this one should be, see, 329. Why it's giving a 329, I don't know. It could be because of my hands. But what we can do is we can put the alligator clips on so that we can see, like maybe there's some interference. All right. So we know that this one goes into the 330, goes 329. So you're never going to get the exact reading. But one of the other things that one of the viewers pointed out was that it doesn't matter which way it goes. They're right, it doesn't, because look, either way, I'll get 329 or round off 330, right? 330, got it that way. So now if I turn it around, right, and go this way, it's still going to be 330, no matter what. But, you know, for the sake of the colors, I like my colors, and I want it to look like the packaging. I'm just, you know, I want it to look like it does on the box. Let's see. This way, the same way too. Okay. See? We got 9.8. 10. We almost got 10. We almost, so, you know, it just rounds it off. But again, let's try that one more time with the alligator clips, if I have any. If I have any, remember. Looks like I don't have the alligator clips. But what I could use is, if I have them, I always thought I had them on here, but apparently not. These come off though. The pieces to this are somewhere. But knowing that and moving forward, whoops. If you don't have the alligator clips, and if you can't find the alligator clips, it's not going to be the end of the world. I have these little connector thingies here. So I have one black, and one red, which is great, right? So what you'll do is you'll just put this like this, put that on like that for the black, put this like this on the red, because if you're not sure, you're like, maybe there's some interference and my hands are wet or moist, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. All right, knowing that, moving forward, I'll take one of these and I'll take the black one. Okay. And we still get the same reading, 9.8, but we can just round it off. And we know that that's going to be the 10, perfect 10. Right now, there is no perfect 10. So you just have to just gauge it that way. And again, let's try it the other way. Remember that you don't get a minus reading. It's just going to be, 9.8. So we know that these two are the 10, and the one that I put over here is the 330, which seemed to have done pretty well, if you ask me, compared to the other one. And the meter will probably just shut off in a little bit. If not, just shut it off. You have your power button, right? All right, so without any further ado, let's get started. Let's get this clock, because time is running out. Actually, we are working under the clock because we're using the Osmos Action 4. And as you know, and if you've seen my other soldering videos, we get about an hour or maybe an hour and a half max, 2 if you're lucky. So we don't need that. Oh, it's our mouse. All right, so everything's sorted out. We're just going to walk you through it. You're going to need a pair of a soldering iron. All right, and let's see what we have here. Where's my a pair of these things right here, so that we can see what we're soldering. Some solder wick, all that other fun stuff. I'll leave a link to that in the description so that you guys can see exactly what it is that I am using. All right, so without any further ado, we're just going to start. I'll let you guys see the whole video. Normally I do these videos live, but the live feed broke out the last time. All right, so I have my solder wicking pen. Just gonna shake it up a little bit. This just helps with the solder to help it flow. This tip is not the greatest. When you buy this, it does come with extra tips, but I figured I'll just use it good to the last drop until it doesn't work anymore. So in this case, and some of these boards are pretty good. So I'm just putting solder on all the parts that will be taking solder. Rubbing the solder, the quick chip pen. This is a pretty good board. Some boards are really crappy, and you only get one take on the soldering experience, if that makes any sense. This one's relatively going to be a quick solder because there aren't many components to put on. So let's see, what should we start with? Let's start with the resistors, right? We know that these are 10K. They round off to about 9.9. And that comes in handy because, the meter comes in handy because sometimes you'll be doing a soldering project that has more than 3 resistors. Then you're like, oh my God, what do I do? I don't know. You're pretty much going to have to figure that out, and that's why this tip hopefully will help you. Or you just learn the code, learn how to read the meter. So this is where I want to make sure that they are I want them to look the way it did on the packaging. So I want it to match the packaging. So this part is going to go in there. Just going to start with 2 resistors. I was going to start with the lower parts first, the small, so that I can just push down on it without anything crazy happening. This is the PINECIL soldering iron, which works really well. Hopefully this will last. We'll see. And not die out on us. Here go some numbers from the raffle. We actually have a raffle happening, which I'm going to do the drawing for probably tonight. Today's Saturday. And hopefully they'll claim their prize. Just want the winner from the last raffle to actually get a chance to claim their prize. They haven't. So raffles, anyone can win anywhere around the world as long as there's a post office. I wonder if it happens if I shut this off. Yeah, then I can't see. So feel free to join. You just got to watch which videos. You don't know which ones. This is going to turn on. I should put it in the description. This will go to 6 something. And then once it reaches 6 something, it will be ready to go. Just got to move this a little bit. And there's actually going to be a raffle in this video, so stay tuned for that. I'll tell you what that's going to be. You'll find out in the end, or maybe in the middle. It's going to be an Easter egg. So you'll never know when, but it'll be. This one's ready to go, I believe. Now I can solder that in. And some of you that are watching, they're like, hey, you forgot to tin the tip. Nope, I didn't. I always tin my tips before the video. Before the soldering experience starts, or if you've ever watched my live feed, I usually tin my tip when the soldering project is over, so that next time when I go to solder, I have my soldering iron ready. So for example, at the end of this video, I will tin the tip. So we got our 2 resistors right there in there, which is great. I don't know what that is, some exfoliage or on it. Now I'm going to put in the other one. This part's tricky because where is that piece? The pencil soldering iron doesn't really come with a stand, so you sort of have to buy one third party. All right, this one we just bend it, and if you can't bend it, you're afraid to bend it, you're nervous about bending it, just find a little pliers. I usually have them somewhere in here. Oh, this looks like I have one that's curved that I just like. That works better. It doesn't have to be curved. It could be whichever one you want. You know, there's no rhyme or reason. But for me, just like certain parts. Nope. That's Groot over there. Groot, where is my... Oops. Not that one. Ah, there it is. I know I have another one somewhere, but it just helps when soldering, and especially doing parts like resistors that need to be bent at a certain angle. All right, and remember, it doesn't matter which way they go, but for me, I want to follow the packaging. And that one goes red, red. So that one goes, oh, orange, orange. So the orange, orange goes that way. So it looks like the box, you know, especially when we build that. The robotics kit, the air-powered car, that's going to be cool. And I want to follow that one. You have to follow the box. There's no rhyme or reason about that. All right, so knowing that, moving forward, we put this in. See that? And we will just put that in. See, voila, it matches the packaging. And for this, and the reason why you want to do the lower parts first, because if I did the number screen first, right, which is called the LED screen, I forget what the part's called, PVC, resistor, we got 3, crystal, buzzer, there we go, 5-1. Where's 5-1? It's called the digital tube. This digital tube, and you can't go wrong with this because the dots go at the bottom. But the reason why I'm trying to explain this is because you don't, let me just shut that off, it's shining in the eyes. If I had soldered this on first, right, see if I'll show you here. If I solder this on first, put it in the holes, and then that's it, then it's going to be harder to do the resistors because look, see, unless I have something like this to put under, or you cut that. So that's why we're doing the flat parts first, okay? Put this back like that. Now we can do these parts, okay? And here we go. Get some solder. Wait for that to heat up. Move this up a little bit because I think sometimes it cuts off. All right, 440. We gotta wait for it to get to 6 something. It's a really cool soldering iron. I like it. I have one over there. Hardly use it. Occasionally I've used it when doing press nuts, but other than that, this is the go-to. This is the way. Can't see. Okay. And then now, it has to get to 640. It's at 608, 613, 620, 6... Yep. Okay, let's see. Yep, there we go. Got 1 and 2. Just like for it to be snugly in there. There, voila. And actually, you know what? I can move this here because I don't really need it there. I need it where it's more accessible. All right, so now we got that in. Let's do the... Sometimes you have to put the parts down, or the soldering iron down, just to look at the parts. This is the buzzer. Let's see what other parts we got. Yeah, I think I can do the buzzer next. The buzzer, you have a... that's a capacitor. And we know that this is the buzzer. So the plus side goes on the plus side with the buzzer. Don't mix that part up. See, plus and plus. B1. And if you're not sure what B1 is, you can just always go here. Because there's a step-by-step guide that tells you what all the parts are. Except there, I don't see the part that goes... There's no B1. Anyway. Nope. Oh, B1 buzzer, but it just gives you the list, as you can see. So, you know, if you're not familiar with it, it tells you B1 is buzzer. But if you look here, I don't see where it goes. They only show you how to solder the first few parts. So don't mix that up. Or you could look at the diagram if you want. All right, knowing that, moving forward, we're going to put the buzzer in. I think the buzzer, I'm not sure. Hold on. I want to make sure that everything gets balanced out so that I can still lay it flat, you know, without, because I know that the capacitor is higher, and then it'll be like that, trying to solder it, and then the power switch. Okay, so knowing that and moving forward, oh man, I'll have to get up during the course of this video to get the batteries. That's why I said, oh man, because usually I like to, okay, so this. So, make sure before you start to solder, make sure everything is in place. Plus, plus, minus, minus, because sometimes you only get one. This looks like a good board, but it's no fun if you've watched my soldering videos. Trying to desolder stuff. Now I got a little more there. That one didn't really do justice. Interesting. Sometimes that happens. Usually, let's see. Like it's supposed to like just bleed, but it didn't bleed. It's okay. We can get it to bleed. Nice. There we go. Might have to just clip that one so that it bleeds properly. Maybe it's too high, maybe too many maybes, but sometimes that happens with different parts. So what I'll do is next is clip the clips that need to be clipped. Watch your eyes. Sometimes these parts do go flying. We have a magnet handy so that you can pick them up and clean them up later. See, so we'll just clip these. See, voila. And then we can just get them to bleed a little bit later, or when you're done. Nice. So what I mean is that, like now, put that there. Now with a little more heat, things should just flow a little bit better. Like, let's say, what part is that? That's a resistor. I'm not worried about that. But the part that I just soldered should have bled, like, should have just, like, come out nicely. Oh, that's not there yet. Okay. Come on, wake up, Mr. Soldering Iron. There we go. See? Sometimes it just takes a little bit more solder to melt the solder. There we go. There, that's what we wanted. Alright, knowing that, moving forward, I don't know, maybe just need a little bit more. Alright. There. Next part. See, it's really easy. Maybe we'll do the crystal. Can't tell time without the crystal, without the important mechanism of it all. Okay, so this one only goes in one particular spot. You can't get this wrong. There's no rhyme or reason to which way it goes. It just pops right in. Remember, we're trying to do, except maybe I want the words to be this way. Yeah, there we go. There we are. Words down. See, and then now look, so if I put it flat, right, then it's pretty good. This one I think will solder really well. I wonder where I can go on the other side. See, that's why you want to make sure that all the parts are somewhat balanced. Where's, thought I had another cup thingy somewhere. Oh, I'll use this thing just to balance it off on the side so it doesn't tip. See, so it's straight, see, like flat. That's why, again, do the lowest parts first. Okay. This is where that solder Wick pencil comes in handy. It's supposed to, see, prevent you from doing what I was doing with the other parts, just trying to get them flush. This one worked really well. See, that one just went right in. It's hard to see because we're using an action camera, but everything seems to be working out really well. Not many parts left. What else do we got? Bummer. This part's going to be a little... Oh no, let's do the buttons. I'll say the next part's going to be really tricky, but it's all right. The buttons are pretty straightforward. There's no right or wrong way to put them. You can't put them in wrong, but you do want to make sure that they, you know, that it just works. Oops. You might have to use a tweezer to straighten them out a little bit. Bummer. Bent a little bit. Nice. Got them in. Wonder if I can get them both in. This way I can just flip it upside down and then it'll just be where it needs to be if it goes in. Nice. So now this one, I don't think we're going to be clipping them. This one, you can just pull them back or in, whichever works. But we don't want them popping out, okay? So what we can do is put that there. Okay, and then put solder in all the 4 places. So we have 8 points to solder. And that's where these little things come in handy. Even if you have perfect vision, I don't, but you'll just see it'll make your soldering job so much easier. And then just wait for the soldering iron to get to that core temperature. Each solder, you know, every solder is different, but I have mine set to 690? We'll see. See? And once it gets there, I know it's ready to burn. And if it doesn't burn, you either need more solder. Sometimes it takes more solder to burn solder, or more of the solder, you know, the solder flux. Okay. All right. But in this case, I used a solder flux pen. 2. These don't have to be clipped. 3. See, sometimes it gets like that. I don't know what happened there. Interesting. See, that one melted on that side. And now I'm trying to do the same thing on this side, but nothing. Seems to be working. Got it. Who knows, maybe it needs more flux. Possibly. Let's put some more flux over there. There we are. It's going to put some more flux. You know, I don't know. I just know sometimes that'll happen, you know? We only need to do 5 more because I want to redo the other one because it's just not the flux, the solder just wasn't. I like for it to bleed. It's not bleeding. The temperature is at what it needs to be. Voila. Well, that hurt. Just touched my hand. Why that happens, I don't know. Interesting. Nice, got it. And then watch. Sometimes that happens with one. I don't know. Well, I should be able to go pop, pop, pop. 1, 2, 3, 4. With these, because we put more flux on it. Maybe tin the tip again, possibly. Sometimes the tip needs a little more tin. Wait, the smoke detector doesn't go off. You can do that. Let's try and give the tip a better experience. Smoke detector's up there, so I gotta be careful. And then put some on the tip. Yeah, it's possible that the tip is. I've had this tip for a while. Nice. Just gonna tin it some more on that side. Now we've got a nice tinned tip. And this is what I'll do at the end of the video too. Some of you think, well, just disconnect the smoke detector. Nah, I can't because I might forget. And then maybe you guys remind me in the notes or comments, and I'll be like, oh wow, I forgot. It'll be like 2 days later. You know, I forgot. So, with this, hopefully, make sure it's even, make sure it's not popping out a little bit, and it should be as easy as 1, 2, 3. See, we got 1, 2, nice, that one worked really well. 2, 3, and 4. Voila. And sometimes it's the board. Sometimes the connection thingies aren't great because I have these soldering practice boards that are supposed to help you. Whoops. When you have a flight controller, I'll just show you really quick. You just put a little flux on it, and then you should be able to get any point really easily. See, look at that. That's perfect. See, because of the connection on the board. So I can get any one, but not. So I know it's not the solder or the soldering iron. I'll leave a link to these in the description down below so that you guys can see. Look at that. Perfect. And again, it depends on the board. Some boards are not well put together, and they don't have that proper joint connection thingy happening, so that when you hit it with the soldering iron, no matter how much flux is on it or how good your solder is, like you just saw, it's not gonna melt and bleed because there's just such little real estate there, or it's just crappy, not the best of the best. All right, knowing that and moving forward, what else can we do? Looks like we have the capacitor. We have 1, 2, and these are really tricky to put on. Put this one on last. Maybe I'll put these on, the capacitors. Again, there's no rhyme or reason for these because there's no short end. They're both the same, but I want to put them both in the same way, and they both should match. I believe they're both at 20. Yep, they're both 20. And again, you could use the meter if you're not sure to read these things, okay? Because maybe you're doing another project that has 2 of these that look the same. One could be a 10, one could be a 20. So you just use the multimeter. And in case you're wondering if I can do it on the multimeter, yes, I can. I'll just move this out of the way. And turn on the meter. Use the alligator clips. Usually some meters have clips that just work. And then what we'll do is turn on the meter. Thought I turned it on. Oh, could be on the fritz. There's 1. And here is 2. And yep, 22. So it's measuring at 22. This one says 20. There we have our number. See that? And like, what if we flip it around? I can flip it and see what kind of reading we get. These don't matter which way they go in, but again, I like to just follow the packaging. And I want it to look exactly like the picture. See that we don't get a minus. It just says 22. And here it says it should be 20. So we just round it off. We know that's the part. But you're never going to have one that's like a 25. It'll just be like a 30, 40, whatever. So don't worry about that. All right, knowing that. And moving forward, we're going to put these in. But again, doesn't matter which way it goes in. You see, because either way you get the 20 reading. But I just want the 20s to be facing me. Okay? Knowing that. Moving forward. And there that is. See? So they go in like that. Looks kind of cool that way. See how everything's just uniform. You have the red going that way, numbers facing that way, that going that way. Buttons, you can't go wrong. Buzzers right there. Looks like we got 2 more parts to put in. And we'll be done in no time. Now, the tricky part is when we flip it over, you don't want it to move. Again, that's why we're doing the lower parts first. If you have something spare laying around to hold it, do that. And there's our solder. Move this out of the way because solder does sometimes flicker away. Oh, probably gonna rain. All right, so knowing that and moving forward, now we just do this and pray. We know our soldering iron's good. We know it's tin, but we know that the board doesn't really give you the best of connection to create that experience that the way it did on the practice soldering boards. If that makes any sense. So it's not binding because there's nothing for it to bind to because these little holes are not the best. There we got 1, 2, and then we'll see if we can get the other one. See, we got 1, it bled. See, it should just bleed like that, 1, 2, 3, but as you see, and you'll see if you get this, the joints are just too, they weren't generous. Well, that's all right. Looks like we have here, we have the capacitor. So the capacitor, you have to put on, see the short side is a negative and the long side's a positive. You have to put that in correctly. Just debating on whether to put that in next or not, depending on whether it will give us room to flip it and hold it. But it looks like this one's higher. Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, that's it. Maybe, hold on. And then we have these things. Well, this one, yeah, I think we'll be all right. Make sure, remember, double check, negative, negative, positive, positive. So, see, I just messed up. So the good thing I didn't solder it. So the positive is the long side, and the short side is negative. See? Minus negative. And I almost put it in wrong. Not that, you know, we would have taken it out, but it's no fun having to resolder stuff. Or desolder, sorry, desolder stuff. So then that, I think what we can do is put this here. Right, so it's somewhat flush. If you have something to help make it flusher, use that. Usually I have spare things laying around, but I usually keep them over there. Or in the cup, a little piece of foam from another kit. And see, now it's somewhat even so that I can press down and solder the capacitor. Okay, knowing that, moving forward, I'm gonna just, hopefully we can just touch it, right? One, nice, it bled. Two, nope. Damn it. No, that one didn't bleed. See, sometimes they bleed, sometimes they don't. And you want it to do that bleeding process. One, it just makes it look nicer, and two, you know that it's a legit connection. See, I should not be on this that long. Did it fall asleep? Yeah, it did fall asleep. Sometimes you got to check the soldering iron. Sometimes the soldering iron's like, wake up, wake up. So if it's not melting, it could be the soldering iron fell asleep. Could be not enough power. So we'll just plug it out and plug it back in. Temperature should start going up. So you just, it could be a number of many things. It could be the power, it could be the solder, it could be the board. And as you can see, the first one went in really nice, and then it started melting, and then it just stopped. So I knew that it was the welcome back to everything that glitches, the soldering iron. Just didn't hold up to the power. Okay. So knowing that, so you really need to like just think about the many different scenarios of why it can't be working. And the first time we know, second time we thought we knew. There we go, 690. Okay, so just check it every now and again. But I kind of figured something was wrong because it just didn't melt. There we go. Nice, got it to bleed. And we're almost there. Now the next part, you want to make sure your soldering iron is on and melting, because we're going to be doing the pins to the clock. I think, yeah, maybe we could do the clock. And we don't want to mess those up. So we're just going to clip this. Do 1, 2. Could use a little more solder there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I don't like the way that one looks. So I'll just pick it up and just let it bleed. Nice. Got it. And it's also a downside to using this kind of soldering iron too, because it's USB connection. Sometimes the power just doesn't go, and that can also create a headache too. All right, so knowing that, I think we got two more parts, and then the power, and then the battery. I believe, let's do this. So with this, the numbers go down like that, see? The dots, so we want the dots to face, see, dot to dot, see? It even tells you right there on this part right here, see, dot, 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 so you can't go wrong there. Sometimes during shipping, these parts get bent. You might have to, you know, bend them back. Look at that, kind of neat, huh? All right, this part, remember, that's why you want to make sure your soldering iron's hot for this experience, because we could use that. If it's not, you could really screw it up. Just wish that was, yeah, that'll work. This one you want to make sure you get the right angle, so you don't want it to go down. So I just want to try and get it like that under there. See? And a little bit flush. Maybe that's too high. No, maybe this. Nope, need something a little bit more higher. Ah, that'll work. Dial. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Dial that was used. Calibration dial for your 3D prints. Okay. Make sure the soldering iron's hot. See, I was just about to start soldering and create a butchered job. So sometimes it'll start melting at 5, but it won't create a fluid experience. And you can change the settings to what you want your sleep mode to be. Different temperatures. All right, looks like it's almost there. 690. Yeah, 698, 99. Now, I just want it to be we got 1, 2. Three. Interesting. Got that one. That one. That one. Nice, that one. That one. Now I can spin it around and do the other one. Now it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter a little bit because I want it to be, I don't want it to come back out. Nice, that one bled. That one bled. See how quickly it just happens naturally? It just flows. That one bled. It just bleeds, it just flows right into its little spot. Nice. And I believe next is that transistor type thingy. See, we got them all in and they all bled beautifully. Doesn't happen like that all the time. Sometimes, like you saw in like some parts we got, some parts just didn't bleed. Whoops. I'll probably get that later with the magnet. Have a magnet handy so you can pick up all these parts that are just going to be flying everywhere. And you could fix this part again and resolder the joint so that it just looks like it bled beautifully. Because these bled, but just, you know, you can fix that. Let's see if I cut this, right? If I cut it. Don't want it to go in my face. All right, then you just pick up the soldering iron before the temperature starts to drop. Move these pieces over there. And then you can just run the soldering iron so that the parts just, see, look at that, nicely, it just melts, sort of. That one sort of came up a little bit, but that's all right. See, just tap it, and then tap it. Sort of creates like a bubble over it, bubbles over. See, kind of neat, huh? One of them didn't really bubble, but that's all right. See, it's always like one that doesn't like do so well, one that doesn't want to listen. All right, last part is the power strip, which we can connect right here. This one should just hold. The power strip can only go one way, so you can't go wrong there. It goes. It's like a three-way prong type thingy. It's tricky to do with this thing in your hand, but it goes underneath. Looks like that's going to be tricky. Yeah, because we can't put it that way, because then it just then it's like, wait, which way did it go? The buttons interfere, so it looks like it goes underneath, if I remember correctly. Oh. Yeah, it's underneath. Bummer. Okay. This part's tricky, but that's why we have this right here. See? That part comes in handy. Now, I could just cake it in, and then got one more piece over there to do. And then the power. I can just, I don't know why that happened, but all right, here we go. We're almost done. See how easy this is? This is fun too, because I'm going to replace this clock. Let's see, we'll put it over there on the other side. Nice. This you want to just be in there, caked on. And it just seals it. Seal the deal. Nice, we got that one. And then they roll in, which is great, because you just want them to be flush to some extent. Got it. And one more. Almost. Now I just got to get the other side, and we are done. Just make sure you don't touch any of the other parts with the soldering iron. Well, it looks pretty good, if you ask me. Just gonna clean that off a little bit. Then we just got the power and the other part. Could always use a little bit more. Nice. Just want it to bleed. Yep, it's bled. All right, 2 more and that's it. We got this thing, which can only go in one way. Okay. Forget what this is. This is a transistor. They have a new name for it, to be honest with you. Q1. Oh, C1. No, Q1. Q1. Actually, we can just go to the board right over here. Triode. Yeah, it's called it a triode because it's got 3. Yeah. It's like a trend. This is a triode. So this one you can't go wrong. You gotta make sure. See how this is flat right there? Okay. So the flat part has to go flat facing on this part right there. And the numbers, these you can't go wrong because they're numbers that match it. 3904 and 3904 right there. But this one you can't put it because the 3904 is facing that way. You gotta put it exactly with the flat part, and then it's just tricky because you have to sort of like, it's like a bad game of Twister. Open it a little bit and then put the middle one in, right? And then after the middle one is put in, you may have to bend it back a little, right? And then put it like that, and then it's like right hand green, left foot yellow, and then push it in as far as it'll go. Though you can't force it. Once it reaches its like capacity to like how far it can go in, then that's it. All right, then you're done. So now we can flip it over, find a little something to put underneath it so that it it holds and doesn't, you know, move. All right, so temperature dropped to 400. So now we're just going to do that. We'll let it rise up to the occasion so that it can... Ah, Easter egg. We're going to be giving away our soldering iron kit. That's right, soldering iron kit. I've got 1, 2, 3, and like me, one that was sent to me and one I don't need. So what do? We raffle it off. Give me a second. This one was only used a few times. Okay. It's in excellent condition. It comes ready to use. Okay. Has a little light, a little spool thing for your soldering iron. Plugs in, it works, on, off switch, I believe. Yeah, you have a soldering tip in there. You might just have to get a new soldering tip, but other than that, it works. Leave in the comments, love to solder. I might throw in some other tips if I can find some, because I don't use those tips. As you can see, I use this one here. And who better than to enjoy this than have it sit over there on the shelf, right? So anyway, just leave in the comments, love to solder, or, you know, count me in so I know that you're interested in this soldering iron, and we'll have a raffle for it. Okay, we'll wait a week. After 1 week, that's it. And if they don't claim their prize, then actually they forfeit it. And so basically, so whenever I announce a winner, just because someone won doesn't mean that they won, because sometimes they don't claim their prize. Okay, knowing that, moving forward, let's finish with this. And that's it. Yeah, so that's our little Easter egg. Good luck, because someone will win it. 669 might start melting. That one bled nicely. This one bled nicely. I love when it just bleeds. I hate when it's just, you know, sometimes it doesn't always, because you want to get those joints in. This is why sometimes you only get one take, you know. Nice, got it. This one could use a little bit more down there. Nice, that one bled too. Again, sometimes it's the board, because you saw I create the same experience over there and it just happens nicely. So sometimes don't think it's your soldering iron, you know. And whoever wins, I will send you practice soldering boards too. And for this, we can just let them bleed. Because I have a whole bunch of those. I have a bunch of, but I always use them from time to time. See how it just bleeds nicely? See? It just creates like a little bubble. And that's it. Almost. Now we just need the power. Actually, let's see if the power switch actually works. So you can connect it to your laptop. Laptop will give you the time, but other power source. If you don't know your power source, don't do like I did in the previous video. So if, bummer. Actually, I won't be able to test it out here, because actually I should be able to. I'm just trying to think of what I have that has enough power, right, to power the clock. My previous, shut that off, computer. If there's enough power in here, we should be able to test the USB connector. All right, has enough power. Anyway, on that note, see, I don't have a USB. So let's just put the power in the batteries. So we have this here, right? So this will probably go on the back. Does it go on the back? Yeah, well, that's for how, you know, I guess you could use some sort of tape or whatever, you know, you want to use. So we have to find the positive and the negative, which is full clock settings. Interesting. Right here. So with these, we'll have to put a little bit of solder on to create like a mound. a mountain. Again, we'll wait for this to... I think this is an alarm clock too because it has a buzzer, which is kind of cool. And just looking at this, see if I can move this. Not enough heat. Mm-hmm. 642, 644, almost there. And maybe we can add, make sure you don't touch anything accidentally. $6.98. Okay. No, it's not moving. Moves a little bit. All right. So now we'll just create a mound so that we just, so this one doesn't matter if it's even or not. One mound, and the second mound can go right there. See, the more space there is, the easier it is for things to just bleed. And sometimes they just weren't generous with the, with the connection thingies here. This one's really straightforward. Plus is plus, minus is minus. Okay. And then so we just, except these are tinted, which is really cool, but they are a little bit too long. So we can just snip them, maybe in half. There's one. And there's two. I don't know, running out of space. So now this one will be really easy and straightforward. $6.98, pretty good. So we'll get one. Whoops. Careful. A little bit tricky. Got one, and then the black. Just because it was pulling. And two. I just wanted it to create a mound. See that? Oops. I wonder if this is metal. Yeah, it's metal. And that's it. I believe we can plug this out because this is hot. And then now we can put these little things right here. Those little screw thingies. I guess that's supposed to hold up the clock. They're all the same size, so it doesn't really matter. So this can go here. Like that. Find the hole. Put it in the hole and then just turn it. See? That's like a little, so the clock can stand. And then this. Oh, and actually, aside from stand, we'll have to screw it in to the other side with the battery connector thingy. So don't screw them in too tight because you might have to move this a little bit. See, look at that. And now we have here. This will go here. So you find the right holes. This one will require a screwdriver. And then, I believe, so we just want to match up the holes before we screw them into. Yep, I see, top to top. So the two top screws. So you can't go wrong here. Just hopefully this is magnetic. Nah, it's not. Is it? Bummer. Looks like my camera. The Osmos Action said it was about to overheat. Device will be disabled in 3 seconds. It's going to. That's why I said you were always working under the gun with the Osmos Action. It's a bummer. Can't use an action camera for stationary shots. And then top to top. Remember that. Otherwise, if you do bottom to bottom, you run into the same problem I just did. So just do top to top. Oops, can't do that one because it's not the top. Just squeeze that in. I'll do that one last. I'll do this one first, because then I can just flip it over. See? So the top one to top one. If you do like I did, a lower one, it's not going to go in. Nice. It's matched up too. I wonder if this is magnetic. Nope. Bummer. Because that would be nice. Then I could just let go. But nope. I thought it was. So possible that the screw isn't. Voila. Look at that. Done in no time. You could always like put the wire in underneath, so it's not like that, you know, like so it's not under. What we'll do is we'll just check out the clock and see what time it is. All right, now the moment of truth we've all been waiting for. All right, we'll go here, put one battery in there. This part's a little bit tricky. One battery in there, and if we turn it over, there is the time. Kind of neat, huh? 12 o'clock. I'm not crazy about the wire thingy here. I might take it off and then just put the wire underneath. You could always use some special tape. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, we can definitely unscrew it and run the wire under. Just looks better that way. See, that moves around. But if we can somehow finagle it, see that? So the wires go like that, and then we have them there. And you can use the black tape. I'll leave a link to the black tape in the description. Then the hardest part is getting it lined up so that just so it just falls right in, but you have to line that part up. Yep, got it. Nope, almost got it. That's why I did this one first. Because these were easy to put in that way instead of this way. Bummer. So I can just somehow finagle it. Got it. See? This part's real. That's why you put these in first. But at least now you know how to do the wiring, you know, so that it just works better. You could use a little bit of black tape, that special electrical tape that we use for the flight controller, which is right here. So we'll just do that. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 9:06 p.m.
Not bad. See? Maybe a smaller piece. And then we will just take the two wires and push it in as far as you want them. And then put that there like that. See? And right when you flip it over, this is still good. So you can just put it there for next time. And then let's see if we can change the time. Oh wow. Hear the beep? There's also an alarm clock too. The only thing I'm not familiar with are the modes. Oh, did you hear that? That was so wild. Oh, I think it was a combination of a text message coming in and something else. Here we go. 12? No, it's not 12 o'clock. Oh, 22 o'clock. Oh, bummer. Some other timer thingy. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 9:07 p.m.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see if we run it down all again. 9. No, it doesn't tell you if it's AM or PM. Sometimes if it's AM or PM, you'll get a dot, you know, for PM. So we'll do 9:07 PM. 9. See? So it just goes from 9. Doesn't the minutes you have to do separately. So 9:08. Round it off to the nearest minute. Not sure what that is. So you'll have to read the manual. And that's it. Wait. There. Oh, I guess it's stuck in another mode. Nope, there we go. Now we just wait for it to just come back out of that mode. That's just kind of cool. You can put it that way. You can put your stuff away in the meantime while it does what it's supposed to do. Maybe just hold down the button. There we go. It's still the mode. Maybe just hold this down. There we go. You hold down that button. That's it. Kind of neat how there's an alarm too in there. It buzzes, it beeps. 9:08. Let's see if it goes to 9:09. Hopefully the seconds work, right? And time will tell. No pun intended. It'll be the longest 1 minute ever. So let that do that. And it's kind of neat, huh? Don't you think? Your own clock. I think we're just going to put it over there in replacement of the one that got blown up from too much power. Remember, when you connect the power to it, make sure it is the proper voltage, okay? And that would be in the directions. Let's see. I believe it's 3 volts. What is the longest 1 minute ever? But you'll see it in there. Yep, 9:09. There you go. Voila. It does work. Yeah. 5 volts. Okay, so look at that. 9:09. 5 volt is your battery. So make sure you just do that. And that's it. Anyway, I hope this video helped you and better understanding of the soldering skills and how to read the meter when it comes to not knowing how the parts go or what the parts might be when it comes to the numbers. You can figure that out. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'm just going to put this one over here. Now we know that this is the one that actually works. Kind of neat, huh? Or ideas for other videos. Remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time.